You guys feel spicy? Because I do.
No matter how loud, how kind, respectful, how cute, men will still fucking hate.
Time to lock the fucking operation 4B.
All I have to say is good luck getting laid. Me and my girlies are participating in the 4B movement.
No more kitty cat for moderate men.
What is the 4B movement? Where does it come from? And why are women joining it?
Delete vlog. Do not respond to them.
Hi girls, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to get into the topic that has been gaining a lot of attention lately, the 4B movement. You might see it pop up online or hear people talking about it, and if you are anything like me, you probably thought, what is that and why is everyone so into it? Well, grab your coffee or your tea, get comfortable, and let's chat because I am breaking it all down for you. We will talk about where it started, why it's so significant, and of course I will share my personal thoughts on this whole thing. Let's start with the basics. The 4B movement or the Forced No movement is kind of like lifestyle philosophy that means no dating men, no marrying men, no having sex with men, and no having children with men. And even if it sounds a little bit extremist, this movement is not just a random trend. It actually has a deep history rooted in the struggles women have faced in South Korea. So let's rewind a bit and talk about where it all started. Back in 2016, something really tragic happened in South Korea. A woman was murdered by a man in a public restroom, and when the man was arrested, he admitted he did it because he felt rejected by women. This was a heartbreaking incident, and it wasn't just about one person's actions, but it opened up a much bigger conversation about the misogyny and violence women were experiencing daily in South Korea. Women were tired of feeling unsafe and unheard, and the 4B movement became a way for them to take back control of their lives. Now, let's talk about why so many women in South Korea are choosing this path. And doing my research, I found a few big reasons. The first one, domestic violence is a major issue. Many women don't feel safe in their own homes, and the cultural expectation is often to stay silent rather than speak out. The second reason is the financial pressures. Housing is crazy expensive and raising kids is even more. Plus that, women are expected to handle both work and childcare, often without much help. And let's not forget about digital harassment. There has been a rise in crimes like hidden cameras and online blackmail, which make women feel like they cannot trust anyone, not even in public spaces. And honestly, the lack of government action is a huge problem as well. Laws meant to protect women are often weak or not enforced, so women feel like they have to take matters into their own hands. When you add all of this up, it's no wonder women are saying, you know what, I'm done, I'm taking care of myself first. And it can be coincidence or not, but here is an interesting fact for you. South Korea has the lowest birth rate in the world, and honestly, it makes sense. When you are dealing with all these challenges like domestic violence, financial stress, a lack of support, having kids doesn't exactly feel like a dream. And I truly believe that the 4B movement ties into this because it's part of a larger trend of women saying no to traditional family roles. They are choosing independence over societal expectation. And honestly, with so many factors at play, I can see where they are coming from. But here is where things get really interesting. The 4B movement didn't stay in South Korea. It's been spreading, especially in the West, after events like Donald Trump's election. Some women in the US, Canada, and even parts of South America started resonating with the movement's ideas. But here is the thing. Life for women in the West is pretty different from life in South Korea. Yes, we have challenges challenges too, but overall, women here have more legal protections, better access to opportunities, and safer environments. So does the 4B movement make sense for us? That's the big question. And honestly, I think it's a little more complicated than a simple yes or no. Here is where I get personal. On one hand, I totally get it. I mean, if you are living in a society where you constantly feel unsafe, undervalued, and unsupported, the 4B movement might feel like the only option, and as a woman, my heart goes out to anyone who feels that way. But, and this is a big but, I think it's really important to ask ourselves, are we making decisions based on fear, hate, or empowerment? Because in my experience, making choices based on fear or hate usually pull us further away from feeling happy and fulfilled. I get why self-preservation feels so important, but I really believe that there is a better way, one that focuses in self-awareness and self-consciousness since a place of love, in order to build a life that we truly desire. So what is the alternative? How can we protect ourselves while still staying open to connection and love? Well, here is what I think. First one, learn to spot red flags, whether it's in relationships, friendships, or even professional settings. Being able to recognize warning signs is very important. Second, be mindful of your environment. Pay attention to where you are and who you are with. If something feels off, trust your gut, it's probably right. Another one is set boundaries. This one is huge. Boundaries are your best friends, whether you are dealing with a partner, a friend, or even family. You also need to surround yourself with supportive people. The people in your life should make you feel safe, valued, and loved. If they don't, it's time to rethink those relationships. And lastly, focus on self-love. At the end of the day, you are your greatest protector. Take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Now, let's address something that I think is really important. Not all men are the problem. I know it's easy to get caught up in anger or frustration, but the truth is there are so many amazing men out there who want to love, support, and protect the women in their lives. By thinking that all men are villains, we are not just hurting them, we are hurting ourselves, because living in fear or anger doesn't serve us. It keeps us stuck, and it blocks us from experiencing the joy and connection that we actually deserve. And like I mentioned earlier, it's really about noticing red flags and knowing how to choose the right partner. I actually talk about this a lot on my channel, and I got a video coming soon about how to tell the difference between a healthy masculine man and a toxic one. If that sounds interesting, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss it. Also, we need to focus on taking the right steps to protect ourselves and prioritize our well-being. At the end of the day, we only have control over ourselves and our choices, so it's important to be intentional about the people we surround ourselves with. If we build an environment that makes us feel safe and making choices that align with our values and who we want to become, we create a solid foundation for a fulfilling life. I guess that the main takeaway here is that while movements like the 4B movement offer one perspective, there are other ways to approach the challenges we face. As women, we have the power to create the life we truly deserve and desire, but doing so from a place of fear, of frustration, or anger makes it much harder. And that's why I encourage you to approach life with love. Take a step back to see the bigger picture, and remember that not everything has to be black or white. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this conversation. If you found this helpful or thought-provoking, please like, comment, and share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.